Hi there, I'm Ferris from Ignition Fitness, and welcome to the third episode of MSCtv. I'm here with Sarah Maughan, our Ignition Fitness team nutritionist, and what we'll be going over today are some nutrition tips you can use when preparing for a long-distance triathlon like the Welland Half Iron. But before we get to that, let's take a look at the course. Welland is a flat, fast course that starts and finishes at the Welland Arena. This two-day triathlon weekend will see Give It a Try events, regular distance events, and half iron distance events, and the swims for all three distances have a similar rectangular course in the Welland Canal. Athletes will swim in a clockwise direction, keeping the buoys to their right. Both the Give It a Try and regular distance triathlon are time trial starts, but the half iron race is a mass start. Out of the water, you'll run 400 odd meters back to transition to grab your bike, and all three race distances start and finish along the same portion of the bike course. Out of transition, you'll wind through about 500 meters of residential street before heading south on Canal Bank Road. The regular and half iron distance races will turn west on Forks Road, but Give It a Try athletes will remain on Canal Bank Road and turn around shortly after passing Forks Road. If you're not a Give It a Try athlete, you'll follow Forks Road until reaching Feeder Road, and regular distance racers will stay on that until reaching their turnaround at the 15-kilometer point. If you're a half iron distance athlete, you'll follow Feeder Road until Hutchinson Road. Half iron distance athletes will hit aid stations at kilometers 30 and 60 on the bike course, and loop around towards Lake Erie by following Dilts Road and Bird Road on your way to North Shore Road, where you'll begin your return trip after a quick out and back section. From here, it's back to Hutchinson, Feeder, and Forks Roads, and all the way home by finishing just the way you came by following Canal Bank Road back to transition. The regular distance and Give It a Try events share the same run course, so I'll go over those first. Exiting T2 from the same place you came in from the swim, athletes will head to the paved fitness path and follow it north until turning left onto the bridge at Lincoln Street, and continue north again on the path once over the bridge. Give It a Try athletes will turn around soon after this, but non-Give It a Tryers will keep going until reaching their first turnaround, which will send them south. From here, you'll stay on the fitness path, cross the bridge at Ontario Street, and hit the second turnaround. On your way home, you'll follow the same route and come back over the Lincoln Street Bridge on your way to the finish. From start to finish, you'll hit 6 aid stations if running the full 7.5 kilometers. If you're a half iron distance athlete, your half marathon takes place entirely on the east side of the canal and includes a couple loops. Out of transition, you'll head north along the fitness path towards a short out and back section before heading north again at the 3K point. This is when you'll start your two identical loops on Merritt Island, and after these two loops, you'll have just over 2 kilometers to go. On your way home, you'll retrace your route but skip the out and back and follow the fitness paths all the way to the finish. Aid stations will be at approximately every mile. Now, Welland may be a flat course, but that doesn't make it easy. In fact, some would say that flat courses like this are tougher because there's no opportunity to have the terrain work for you like you would in the rolling hills of a course like the Woodstock Triathlon. Your legs are always on when racing a flat course, and when you're pushing like that for so long, you need to make sure you fuel properly, and that's what Sarah's going to be talking about today. Now, we'll be talking about fueling for a half iron distance event, but the Welland Triathlon does have several distances available, so you can use these tips when preparing for any distance. But for the sake of this video, we will be talking as if we're preparing for a half. Now, there will be plenty of well-stocked aid stations on the bike and run course with several different food and hydration options available, but let's take a step back a few weeks from the race and give us a list of foods that we should be eating and what we should be avoiding and why.
Absolutely. So obviously before any type of race leading up to it as you're training, carbohydrates are our primary energy source. So it is really important to fuel really well. Right types of carbs being whole grains, quinoa, buckwheat, rolled oats, even steel cut oats. Lots of fruits and vegetables have carbohydrates in them as well. Starchy vegetables. You can also use things like whole grain crackers. If you want to use organic canned beans, that's great too. They are slick and easy to open up and throw into a salad again, maybe with the quinoa, so you have two different sources of carbohydrates so that you fuel yourself really well, but you're also getting extra fiber and protein, which will keep your blood sugar levels very stabilized.
And then what about a list of common carbohydrates that we should be completely avoiding?
So generically, should be avoiding convenient ingredients, muffins, donuts, cookies, even bars, things that have a lot of sugar in them, a lot of refined sugar. It's different if it's sweetened with honey or maple syrup.
So you've brought us a whole selection of different foods here. Now can we talk about what you've brought, why you've brought it, and how we can fit it into our diet and lead up to a big race?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of smoothies, just because you can put a lot in there. It grinds it up, it doesn't sit so heavily in the digestive system, but you can get it very calorically dense. But on the flip side, if you don't want a lot of the calories one day, you can make it very nutrient dense still, but not as many calories. I actually brought pumpkin seeds and almonds, and I also brought hemp seeds and flax seeds and some ground almonds as well. And these are all really good sources of omega-3 fatty acids and also good sources of protein. So omega-3 fatty acids are going to help decrease inflammation in the body that can be created actually from heavy exercising.
And over here it looks like we have coconut.
Yeah, so coconut is, again, really important. It is a medium-chain saturated fatty acid. And the reason why we're talking about fats too is because fats are actually our secondary energy source, which only endurance athletes generally tap into.
Okay, should we be eating these in the lead up to the race? Should we be eating these on the morning of? When should we be taking in all these ingredients?
You should be eating them on the lead up and some on the morning of. You want to make sure that you are having an adequate source of carbohydrates that are mixed with some healthy fats, so like the nuts and seeds or coconut, to stabilize the release of those sugars throughout the race. And also not sitting so heavily in the stomach, and that way you get the energy from the carbohydrates more efficiently and more readily available to you.
So we would add these to a cereal, or how would we?
So you could add it to a granola. So I actually have a granola here that I like to make.
So we've got our granola, we've got our bars, we've got our smoothies. Now you also have brought some sea salt. Now in addition to carb loading, we also want to do some salt loading in the lead up to such a long race like the Welland Half Iron. So tell me a little bit about salt loading.
So salt loading is important for somebody who is an athlete because you are excreting salt, which is in the form of sodium, also other electrolytes. Minerals are important for absorbing the water into our body. So if you have too much water and not enough minerals, then you could reach a state called hyponatremia, which can cause muscle spasms, muscle weakness, fainting, confusion, passing out, even vomiting, nausea, and those are all things that you don't want to be experiencing during the race. And you will want to make sure that the day before you're having adequate water and sea salt so that you are hydrated the next day.
Well, thanks for all your help, Sarah, and all the great suggestions. And this is actually going to do it for this episode of MSCtv. I hope you've learned something, and I hope you're able to make use of these great nutrition tips when getting ready for the Welland Half Iron Triathlon. Now, Sarah's nutrition services are available to any level of athlete, and you can contact her and find out more by visiting our website at ignition-fitness.com. I'm Tommy Ferris, head coach at Ignition Fitness, and coming up next in this series is a look at the Huronia Triathlon. Thanks for watching.